Hollywood, is full of fair weather friends, chums. In fact, it's probably one of the most insincere towns you could possibly think of. It's great when you're big and you're climbing up and everything's about box office receipts and ratings and streaming nowadays and all that sort of stuff. But if you are not particularly doing well, then people definitely keep away from you. And this is sort of a matter of fact. It's a business town. It's there, you are there to make business. Not many people enjoy perhaps living in Hollywood unless you're part of that business. Now, as we know, Meghan Markle and Prince Harry are, seemed as almost ostracised by the Hollywood elite. Possibly not so Prince Harry, because he has something to offer. No, not talent or anything, but a title. And people like Hollywood stars like to be sat or indeed pictured with a title. Meghan Markle, she's nothing more than a D-list washed-up soap actress who struck lucky by marrying rich, not through sheer talent of Oscar-winning or Emmy Award nominations, so they don't really hold her in much high esteem. But here's where this particular story truly gets interesting, and why Hollywood are now unanimously turning their backs on the Sussexes. As ever, let me explain. Good to see you, chums. Thank you so much for joining me today, and a lot better, let me tell you. No rain today. I know, what a day if you're in the United Kingdom. 98% rain all day. Don't tell me it's done the gardens good. I know, well, as fans of this channel know, and chums know, I love flowers, greenery and everything, just as long as I don't have to do it, I love looking at manicured, beautiful gardens, and I love sitting in them in the summer, as we all know. And I'm sure many of us do, but the garden would extend to me to be a bit of a window box, yeah. When I was at school, I learned to grow watercress. Do you remember that? And that was a big achievement. Anything else you think, oh no, can't be bothered, I love it, as I say, looking at seas of daffodils and rows of beautiful colours and stuff, but you think all that effort, and I really admire gardeners who are brilliant at it. You do a splendid job, and I know it's good for you exercise wise. Well, yeah, with the back, that's my excuse. Absolutely. Some people who gets on their back, of course, is Meghan and Harry, literally plummeting on a daily basis. We may have seen her once again trying to wrestle the mic off Prince Harry at the Kevin Costner charitable event. I mean, there's two versions of Meghan, isn't there really? There's the limpet version, what I call, of like clutching hold of Harry like he's a magnet and she couldn't possibly stand without grasping his hand. Oh, he's my knight in shining armour. She knows she's on a sticky wicket and now needs this numbskull to keep moving forward. I mean, that's the thing. Love, I wouldn't go as far as using that word, but you know what I'm saying. Here's where it gets interesting though, because as you may have seen recently, Harry and Meghan, well, it's aired, I think just now, in fact, the documentary for Disney. And it's like, 75 years or 100 years or something like that of Disney and the theme parks and all that. And I just, I've been to the Disney theme parks, reported on there. I think the artists who do, the sort of characters do work incredibly hard, and they're a lot of fun, and they make children's dreams come true. It's the magical moment where the child still believes that Mickey Mouse is real, and Daffy Duck and all of those characters, the Disney castle, Snow White, the traditional stuff. Wonderful, absolutely wonderful. Went woke, lost a lot of money, desperately trying to hawk it back. Bob Iger thought it was a good idea, yes, after being asked to give the failing Sussexes an opportunity to go out and promote. So they did, and they went off to Disneyland with it all sealed off, nobody else there whatsoever, just staff members. Now here's an interesting bit of a snippet as well. You see, Meghan and Harry could have made a lot more money from Disney, but they relinquished the idea of having an expanded sort of video showing their family, you understand. And Doria didn't want to get involved in it either, so that's, tricky to show a family event when there's just the two and the two children, doesn't really work that well. Now here's the bigger problem. Disney have told Harry and Meghan to simply zip it, shut up if you want more money. And they couldn't be more brutal in this approach. And this is simply because of the Jimmy Kimmel fallout for his chat show and the ill-advised comments, whether you agree politically or not, on what he stated. They've cancelled him indefinitely at the moment. They're not quite sure if he's coming back ever. And suddenly you get the ubiquitous like likes of Cynthia Nixon from the failed, of course, comeback what was it like? And Just Like That or something like that. And the Sex and the City reboot, well, suddenly she's pictured online, cancelling the Disney streaming service. I'm sure they will miss the $15 a month or whatever. Cynthia Nixon's decided to dramatically, attention seeker or what, interviewed her. Total bore, never want to meet that woman again. What's interesting though is Harry and Meghan will not come out and defend the chat show host. And this is making Hollywood turn on them, because there they are now appearing in a primetime Disney documentary. Also, the likes of Jamie Lee Curtis is there, the daughter, of course, of Janet Leigh, and Tony Curtis, amongst other people. But Harry and Meghan have said, they don't have a comment. No, they're not getting involved. Now, remember, Meghan Markle will need this chat show circuit, if it still survives, around about Christmas time to try and hawk on her Christmas special for Netflix. And what's interesting here is, once again, it's about self-serving. Disney paid Harry and Meghan a lot of money to appear in this documentary. They had to be billed as the Duke and Duchess of Sussex. Meghan, Duchess of Sussex, Prince Harry, the Duke of Sussex. It's titles that they are shilling on. Make no mistake on that. That's the deal, right? And so consequently, as and when it's needed, what Hollywood finds is that, well, no, Harry and Meghan, they couldn't possibly comment. Meghan wants to comment on many other political leanings, but on this particular one, because ABC, Disney are the same company now, well, she couldn't possibly. So, of course, any charitable events, anything, if you look at these two, as long as it serves them, well, they're serving themselves. Neil Sean in the very heart of London.